Hey there, I'm Juan Francisco, and I'm a psychic medium. I'm here with you to explore your intuition, the supernatural, and self empowerment. This is Third Eyesight. Hello, lovely people. I did not publish an episode last week because I was just in the throes of a lot of things going on with work. And I think I let some things in my personal life get in the way, if I'm being very honest. Things that didn't need to get in the way. And I'm going to talk about that in this episode. But yeah, work has been really busy. I was in San Francisco, California, for most of the last work week, um, running an event for my job, and it went very well. And I really love San Francisco. And I just recently connected with a fellow psychic medium through a gay men's group online, and he lives in San Francisco. I learned that the day that I got back. I never met up with him, but he was saying how much he loves it there. He lives just outside of San Francisco, and he just loves the area, the region, and he feels just a spiritual energy there. And I realized, yeah, I felt that too. I feel like San Francisco, there's such an interesting energy there. There's something really deep there that I can't put my finger on, but maybe it's the land. I just can't explain it. It's so beautiful. It's just such a beautiful area. So this episode, it's going to be really honest. And I keep saying that in a lot of my most vulnerable episodes, but this one may be even more vulnerable. It's been very busy with work, which means that I haven't been able to devote as much time and energy towards like going to mediumship circle every week, every other week. I haven't thought a lot about not publishing, promoting my readings. It's been a minute since I have written for my book. I think I'm still on chapter 3, and I've just kind of been stuck there, or maybe it's chapter 4, and I haven't gone back to it in like a month and a half. And I feel like it's been feeling a little bit uninspiring recently. And I don't like that feeling. And I guess I'm going through also in my personal life what some may call the dark night of the soul. Not to be dramatic, the dark night of the soul. And I don't love that phrase. It sounds literally so dark. But I do feel like I'm going through a growing pain right now. I've shared with folks in the past that in my personal life, I've struggled with compulsions. I've struggled with seeking validation from other people and trying to feel whole and acceptable through people in my dating life and love life. And recently, I just been feeling very misaligned with the way I am leading my love life and dating life. And this is just one part of things going on in my personal life. I've been feeling misaligned and something's not feeling right. And I want to make a change, but it's hard to make a change because validation is very addictive. And so I'm working through changing how I function in that part of my life. And it's scary because I think when trying to seek validation and then getting it, but then deciding after so much time seeking validation, um, realizing that or deciding to not do that anymore. There's a fear that comes up, a fear of missing out. Oh, what if I don't get the same validation again? All that stuff. And I want to be very clear that I've done a lot of work on myself in the last year and a half in boosting my self-esteem, loving myself more. Still work in progress. Some days I don't love myself like I did the day before. But I've been working really hard on that. And I think it's now coming into a beautiful head where I've worked on myself in this way, but the way that I'm then leading my life is not hearkening back to all that growth I've done. It's not, the growth is staying up here in my brain, all the learnings and that growth, the awareness, but it's not playing out in my life and the actions I take. And so I am in the midst of really asking myself, what do I want my life to look like in different parts of my life? How can I apply what I've learned about myself and the way I like myself to the way I lead my life? How can the life I lead reflect the love I have for myself and the genuine love I have for other people? And so I'm here in this position right now in life where I feel kind of stuck. I feel like I'm at a pivot point, and I'm excited, but I'm scared. And I think what comes with all of that is also growing just in my personal relationships. I just had a conversation with a friend where I talked about some very difficult things about myself, things that I want to learn to change about myself and the way I function as a friend so I can be a better friend, a more supportive friend. And I realized that so much of the way I have functioned as a friend in my life is all inner self-projection. It's all more about me, and I need to work on that. And that's scary too. Not as scary as not getting validation, and that's a little scarier, but there is something scary about, honestly, it's about telling myself, Juan, stop thinking you're right about everything. Be supportive. Respect other people's decisions as long as you're not hurting them. And there is something scary about that because it is a different flow from what I'm used to, but I think the change has to happen. And so what I'm trying to say is I feel kind of stuck right now. I do. And I think the last time this happened to me, and I might have done an episode on it at that time as well. The times when I have felt stuck in my life, it also felt like my spiritual journey or my spiritual advancement or evolution or my connection to spirit, it felt like it took a back seat. And it felt like it was being, when I say deprioritized, not that it's not important, but I don't feel as, I could do a reading, absolutely. I just did a reading in the last month for someone for the Queerly Beloved podcast, which should come out soon. Promise it's not just a plug. I'm just sharing. That's the last reading I did, a mediumship reading, and it was a beautiful experience for me. And I hope it seems like for Will Fisher, the host, I can do a reading, but in between readings, I'm not feeling very inspired. And I don't feel very connected in between readings. And I think that's supposed to happen right now. I think as I'm trying to change my lifestyle, literally, I'm trying to change my lifestyle and have my lifestyle match up with what I've learned about myself in the last year. I think this is supposed to happen. And the last time I felt this kind of spiritual stuckness was the time when I was really growing as a person. And I do wonder if spirit works that way sometimes, where spirit says, oh, he needs to go through a little evolution here, a new chapter. So let's have him focus on the humanness, I mean to say, the humanity of this moment right now. But yeah, part of me feels scared. A part of me feels like, why don't I feel inspired? And there's other factors that go into it too. You know, I told you all in the beginning of the year that I wanted to take a back seat when it came to social media posting. I didn't want to. I loved posting on social media, but it became like, and I'm not trying to complain about hard work. Hard work is important, but my heart wasn't in it. My heart wasn't in recording 10 videos on a Saturday to post over the course of a month. And my heart just wasn't in it. And it didn't feel authentic to me. And my life feels way more manageable. It wasn't a horrifically unmanageable time doing all that stuff. It wasn't terrible, but I just don't feel that inauthenticity right now. I don't feel like I'm doing something inauthentic because I'm not doing those kinds of videos, like content batching anymore. But then I start to think, well, okay, I run this business as a psychic medium and I want to be known for this, and not known just to get fame. Fame is actually not very important to me. I just want to make an impact. I would love to have this be an extra income too, because I do get paid for readings and I want to run a successful business. But now there's so many of us out there and it's a very saturated market. I'm not posting as much on social media. I don't know what to do. And the reason I want to write my book is not because I want to make money off of it. I really do want to help people. And the lovely byproduct of that is making some money off of it. But I really do want to help people. But I don't know what to do. And I also feel stuck as a business person. And I know I could be doing more. I know I could be doing more, but let me tell you, man, having a full-time job and trying to do this, it's really not easy. And I maybe I'm one of those millennials that people used to complain about. But I just refuse to feel bad for feeling energetically tired after having a full-time job and not wanting to do anything else. It's not easy. It's not the hardest thing in the world. I have many blessings to count. There are worse things that could be happening, and I have it really well off. I do. I have everything I need in life to survive, and I will have it unless something drastically changes next month too when I pay rent and pay for my food. So I have a lot to be thankful for. I don't like to complain. I'm just trying to get real with you and say that I don't know what to do. And the things that are required to make a very successful business don't feel authentic to me right now. And so now what do I do? And part of my recalibration that I'm going through right now, my human experience, which is spiritual too, not that it's not spiritual, is I do want to explore my passions more. And I keep saying that every year I'm going to learn the guitar, I'm going to do more community theater, but I really want to get serious about it. And I want to do more things like that for myself. And I've thought about maybe becoming a life coach. I've thought about that. I've been listening to Maggie McCormick, who does The Inspired Coach. I think she's called The Inspired Coach. I forget the name of her podcast. Forgive me, Maggie, but I will have Maggie on the podcast for an interview because I discovered one of her YouTube videos that went viral. And she's just so lovely, and there's so much authenticity that comes through her videos and her podcast. And she's a life coach, and I just feel so drawn to this industry of life coaching. But I'm kind of afraid to start because it's an investment, and I'm trying to be budget savvy right now. But maybe there are other ways I can help people that still is ethical. And so these are the questions I'm asking myself, and I'm just kind of feeling stuck. And I do want to believe that when I'm feeling stuck, that means something great is about to happen. And I was watching an interview that Oprah did with Lady Gaga in 2020, early 2020. And it was called the 2020 Vision Tour that Oprah did, and she interviewed Michelle Obama. But I have watched this Lady Gaga interview before. I haven't watched the other ones, but I have watched this Gaga interview before because, surprise, surprise, I am a little monster. I love Lady Gaga. I love when she speaks. I'd watched it a couple years ago, but I decided to watch again. I don't know what made me want to watch it. I just had seen some speeches in like YouTube Shorts and Reels, Instagram Reels of Gaga speaking, and I thought, oh, I would love to watch that summit again. And I love Oprah. I adore Oprah. So I'm watching it, and I watched the whole thing, and I knew I had watched it before, but this week I really needed to watch it because there's something that Gaga said that really spoke to me. And I'm so crazy. I even thought of writing it on a Post-it note and putting it on my ceiling so I see it when I wake up. But Gaga said that when she was feeling lost and trying to find her way and wanting to pursue her dream, she just told God, God, show me the way. Show me the way. And he did. And I'm sitting here with you, Oprah. I thought that's so powerful because there was an element of surrender. And she knew she wanted to be a musician, but she wanted to make an impact also. And she's made a huge impact on many people's lives, including my own. And so something I really want to pray to God every day is, God, show me the path. Please show me the path. Because if I'm being very honest, I'm confused as to what my path is. Do I want to be a psychic medium the rest of my life? I think I always will be. I mean, there's no ending that. It's just going to be what it is. I am a psychic medium. But is that the way that I want to make the biggest impact? Am I going to be a life coach? Am I going to be a musician? All of it at once? I don't know. So I'm in this moment of really questioning what I'm meant to do. That doesn't mean my psychic readings will stop or my mediumship readings will stop. I always want to continue those because I enjoy them so much. I really get a lot of joy out of doing those, and there's a lot of fulfillment that comes from doing those readings. But I just think I'm in a moment of like, what do I do with this business I have? What do I do to be my most authentic Juan? And I need to also stop thinking that there's only one thing I can do and I have to choose one thing. I don't have to choose one thing. That's where I'm at right now. I'm in this place where it's just been very, very busy with work, 9 to 5 work, which means limited time dedicated to other things mentally. Mental energy, very limited. It's been very limited. I mean, I was working some weekends. It was not easy. And now that phase is over at work for now, because we just ended the busiest time of the year. And now it's there's some more time for me to focus on these things and to get serious. I think that's what I'm missing is actually, I'm going to phrase it this way. What I'm missing in my life is taking myself seriously, taking my desires seriously. I need to do more of that. And I do want to continue giving readings, and I actually would love to do more partnerships in New York City. I would love to do more events in New York City and do readings, and I want to go to conventions or fairs. And I also want to write music or do something with music, join something with music. I want to take an acting class. These are all things I want to do. And who's to tell me I can only choose one thing? But I think the most important thing is to go where my passion leads me. I think I've shared before that I grew up wanting to be a famous actor and a famous singer. I would imagine myself at the age of 3 or 4, like at 4 or 5 years old, I would put on Cher's Believe because it was a top hit at that time. And I would sing Cher's Believe pretending I'm Cher in front of a stadium audience or in front of a huge audience of so many people. And they're all clapping for me and cheering for me. I was so young and I wanted this dream so bad. I wanted to study music. When I got to high school, I wanted to study music composition in college, but I never did. I decided not to because it meant not living at home, not having a home to live in. It's a whole other story. And now I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I'm not beholden to anybody other than myself and God. Everyone else I just respect and love. But I'm not beholden. My life, the journey of my life does not belong to anybody else. And so now I want to say I don't have any excuse. I can lead my life the way I want to. And I need to be less afraid of taking chances. And at the same time, I want to acknowledge that running a business like this, a psychic business, it's not easy in this day and age. I'm so happy that post-COVID, this has become so popular because I think we need to talk about these things. But I think from a business perspective, it is very hard to stick out. And I'm going to say something that, I don't mean to, this is not coming from a place of judgment at all. But, as a gay man in the psychic business, I think about like, should I be like showing my body more? Should I be looking cute more? Like, should I be, I don't know, position myself in a way that looks thirst trappy and also get my business done? And I see other people do things like that, gay or not. And it's just not authentic to me. But it works for other people. But it's like, that's not what I want to do. And it stinks because it seems to work for them. It seems to get them some clientele. This is based on what I'm seeing on Instagram and other platforms. Or like someone who's doing recording a video without their shirt on and they're a psychic. And they're very cute. I find them attractive. And they're getting more followers. And yeah, I don't want to do that. And it's hard because like there's the There's the shiny, like, ooh, followers and likes. But if it's not authentic to me, and if it's not what I want to be about, if it's not for who I am, then I shouldn't do it. And this is the stuckness. This is the, oh, that's working for somebody else, but that's not who I am. So dang, what do I do? What do I do? And I refuse to try and come up with something creative just for the sake of making money, because that's not what I'm about either. Maybe I'm not a good business person. I don't know. I refuse to let me think of a product or something, an offering that no one else is offering because I can make some money off of it. That's if I'm not passionate about it. I mean, if something comes across my plate or I think of something and it's really creative and I love it and I adore it, I want to do it, sure, I'll do it. But I don't want to have the energy of I want to make more money in my business, so I'm going to come up with something really unique. That's just not authentic to me. And maybe that's not business savvy. I'm sure it's not business savvy. But I don't want to take advantage of this business. I don't want to take advantage of this industry. I don't want to take advantage of people's needs to heal. So I need to do what's authentic to me. It's so hard. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? I mean, how much do we talk about in our Western culture about, sex sells, right? Sex sells. It does. Now, listen, I put up a thirst trap once in a while. I do. Maybe once a week. Okay? I'll put it up because I feel cute and I want to get a like. But it's usually on my Instagram stories where it doesn't survive the past 24 hours. Still, it's a thirst trap, right? But it's not something I use to sell my readings. It's not something I use to promote myself as a psychic medium. But yes, sex sells, fear sells, and those two are not on equal footing, by the way. Like, sex sells, sex is great, sex is cool. Sexy people are beautiful. I love beautiful people. They're fun to look at. They're great. And just these are some things that I'm just listing some things that in a marketing sense, they work to draw people in. But if it's not authentic to you, is it worth doing? Even though it's the easy thing. So I don't know. I'm in this phase of really trying to think and figure out what the hell do I do with the tools I have? And I feel like there's something that's going to change in the next year. Something that's going to click. I was telling my therapist the other day that when it comes to my personal life and the things that I shared that were personal at the beginning of this podcast, I told him I feel like something is just gonna click or pop. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I know all the things, but in terms of how they show up in my life and how I live my life, something's gonna click. It's gonna make sense. And I would say the same thing for my business. I think I'm in a phase of figuring out what the hell to do. And maybe the more that I just surrender and tell the God that I believe in, show me the path and be of service to something bigger than me, then maybe it will come to me. Actually, I'm going to be very confident and say, I believe it will come to me. And this is the kind of phase in a spiritual journey where you're required to have faith. This is where faith comes in. As much as I'm not feeling very connected between readings, I have faith that spirit is there. I have faith that things are working out the way they need to work out. And that's all there is to it. That is all there is to it. That's all. That's all. No big deal. Of course, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's not easy being human. It's not easy being human. So if you're feeling stuck right now, just know that it's so normal. And I think that there are so many podcasts out there that talk about productivity and wake up at 5 a.m. and do all the things, set your goals. Those are all great things to do. But if you also need a moment to just pause and take a mental break, do it. Do it. Just do it. And if you were to decide that, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, it's not speaking to me, that's fine too. That's fine. Change is scary. And change is especially scary to feel when it means the loss of validation, the loss of praise, the loss of attention for some of us. For this guy right here. I'll admit that's one of my biggest faults that I have grown a lot out of. Growing up wanting to get attention because I didn't get the attention I, as a child, maybe needed. It is very psychology 101. Trying to get the validation from men, from boys and men that I crave because there's a part of me that doesn't feel good enough. It's scary to switch away from that way of thinking for many of us because it's familiar. Or because we get the hit of praise and validation, of approval. And when we don't get that hit anymore, what we have to rely on is ourselves. Do we approve of ourselves? Do we like ourselves? Do we want us to see ourselves become better and better people? Are we living for ourselves? That's scary for many of us who feel that's unfamiliar territory. But maybe it's worth it. I bet it's worth it. I'll let you know in a year maybe as I keep going onto this journey, going through this journey. So if you're feeling stuck, just ask your higher power, the source you believe in. Universe, show me the path. Show me the path. I surrender to the path you want to show me. Use the gifts I have, the talents I have, and show me the path. Tell me what I can do with these gifts and talents, and show me. Show me the path. And trust that the universe is going to show you that path. When you ask, it is given. Maybe not given in the way you expect, because maybe you have the gift of singing, and you want to be shown the path, and someone needs an addition to their chorus, and you're like, oh, I don't like choral singing. That's not my thing. But maybe it's a sign that you're in the right direction, and just try it. Just try it. You can quit. Just be respectful about it. Respect people's time and energy, but try it. Maybe it's not what you're hoping for. Maybe it's not the stardom you're hoping for. Maybe it's not the platform you're hoping for, but it's something. Because you don't know who you're going to meet who's next to you in that choir chair, on that choir bench. You don't know who you're going to meet who could inspire you to go on your next part of your journey as a singer. You never know. Take the opportunity. I'm right now in the midst of making a decision of whether or not I'm going to go to this retreat in the mountains where I will likely be bunking with 9 other people. There's no AC, although it gets cooler at night. It seems like it gets cooler at night, which is cool by me. But it's in nature, and you're bunking. The toilets are right outside the bunkhouse, and I probably won't use those toilets because they are not regular toilets. So I'm like, but you know what though? This place has been on my list for 7 years. And in the last 2 months, I keep meeting people who are bringing up this place. And I have the opportunity to invest in going. It's the perfect opportunity to go in terms of finances, in terms of the time of the year. So I'll likely go. Because maybe if there's something, as much as the logistics of it are a little bit different for me, there's something about this that is speaking to my soul. I can't ignore that. So I should follow that. And we should do that, I think, in many parts of our life. Not just retreat plans and travel plans. In many parts of our lives. Excuse me. Our lives. Says the English major. Embrace the stuckness. and ask to be shown the path. So with that, I'll leave you, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care. Hey, are you liking the supernatural and self-empowerment talk? Then follow the podcast and please leave a review. If you want me to talk about a specific subject on the podcast or you have a question for the podcast, go to juanfranciscospirit.com and go to my contact page and submit that question.